Okay, Love Island All Stars UK. Um, it's movie night, which we love a good movie night. We didn't get one this last season of Love Island US, so I'm ready for this. But before we get there, um, Wit is talking with Scott, and they're talking about his dilemma with Leanne and Cher. Earlier, Leanne was crying, and the girls were comforting her, and she was just like, "I have to start talking to new people," and she didn't really want to do that, but she realizes that's what she wants to do. She doesn't want to be in a triangle. So Scott is talking to Wit, and he asks her, "Who do you think is suited for me? Better suited for me, Leanne or Cher?" And she says share, which surprises me. She said he's a lot. And I think with Wit's personality, she thinks that Leanne is too quiet for Scott. And when Scott goes off on people, or when he goes off on conversations and tangents, Leanne doesn't say anything to him. And Wit's personality is she would jump right in there. But, and not everybody wants that. But I was surprised she said share, but then when she explained it, I'm like, oh, because Whitney kind of butts in a lot, and she thinks he needs somebody that will do the same, I guess. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with Leanne when Scott's doing whatever he's doing, going off on a tangent, her just sitting back. I don't see anything wrong with that, but apparently Whitney does, and her personality would. So next, Leanne pulls Whitney, and she tells her that she's going to pull Yaman for a chat. Whitney was like, whatever at first, and then I'm surprised that Leanne would pull Yaman though, especially after Whitney and Yaman were just in the hideaway. But I guess, and Whitney said, "Well, Yaman aside, just I don't want you to be moping around about Scott. Get yourself together, basically." So Leanne pulls Yaman and they go into the secret garden, which everyone was like, ooh, the secret garden. I'm surprised she picked the secret garden, though. That's like the terrace. Like, no, you don't do that. But they did, and they had a friendly conversation. He clearly isn't really interested in veering away from Whitney, you know. She's not really, I don't know what Leanne, I didn't feel like she was coming on to him. I think maybe she was just trying to make Scott mad. I didn't think that at first, but now I don't know. But Yemen clearly it was just a friendly conversation. So that's why I don't understand why they went to the secret garden. But again, that might be just to piss Scott off. Okay, movie night. First movie is Free Millie. We all know what that is. And they show her talking to Curtis and when Curtis was crying. And then they show Millie talking to Whitney, and Whitney is just telling her, or no, Millie's telling Whitney that Curtis didn't think it was over and he wanted clarity. And they were like, he should have had clarity. And he should have, because she clearly told him it was over. I don't know what Curtis was doing. But then Whitney was telling her in private, these two, and she said, maybe he's using I can never remember her name, but anyway, the girl he's with now, he's using her as a rebound. That's what Whitney said to Millie. Well, here's Curtis's face, and I don't know why he's looking like that. And then he goes, Whitney needs to keep her mouth shut. Or he didn't say that, but he said something like that. And I'm like, first of all, she was talking to her in private. This is just movie night and it came out. It's not like she just said it just now. But Curtis always gave me he can get angry vibes. Even from when he was with Ekansu. He did something and it made me think, but anyway, this is her face when, oh, and then they also showed when he told Millie, Curtis told Millie that when he was kissing her, he always had her in the back of his mind. So when he was kissing whatever this girl's name is, you know what? Yeah, I don't even care to look up her name. But when he was kissing her, he had Millie in the back of his mind. That's what Millie was telling Wit. So they showed that. Look at this the creepy faces, the looks. I'm telling you. The next movie was How to Lose Leanne in 10 Days, and they show when just before Leanne was almost going to be voted out, she's going to go home. And when Scott was saying how he would have been miserable, and then Belle said you could have just gone with her, and he's like, no, not after 2 weeks. And Belle had told Leanne this, but seeing it was just a little different for her, I think, because just before that, they showed the scene where he told Scott told Leanne that they weren't close. That this isn't early days anymore. Like it's serious, right? So for him to say no, 2 weeks, no, I wouldn't. That was a bit much. Scott looked terrified during this movie. He kept looking over at Leanne to see what her reaction was to things. He did mention her pulling Yamin into the secret garden, so that did bother him. And Yamin's like, I don't have nothing to do with this. The next movie was Some Like It Scott. These titles are rather clever. But the Some Like It Scott was all about Sean like hating Scott, or he kept calling Scott a prick, and it was kind of funny. But it was all about their back and forth beef. Next movie, Legally Belle. They showed Belle when she was at the USA villa with this dude. What is his name? Kerrigan. Kerrigan. He thinks he is way hotter than he is. It's annoying. And they keep showing him, and he's like, but really, he's enjoying being on camera, and he loves the fact that he's on camera. When I think he should be seeing how, I don't know, goofy and fake he looks. But after seeing that and how he was flirting with Belle, Helena's like, clearly he's not interested in me. He's never been that flirty with me. Listen, Helena, I feel like I don't really need to see Helena back on any Love Islands. Just like I don't want to see Curtis on any more Love Islands. Maybe send Helena to Love Island USA. Maybe that's what, if I see her again, I wouldn't mind her being on a USA. Maybe. But the Bell one did show that she didn't, that she was being respectful to her relationship with Sean. She only kissed Carrington during a challenge. And, but then Carrington stood up. This was funny because Leanne was like, why is he standing? He was, let's be real, he was standing for camera time. But the reason this is what he's doing right here is telling Sean that Belle was really respectful and she's a green flag, but he just really wanted camera time. Next movie, Jumpin' Jack Flash. And it was basically Jack kissing on all the girls, the USA girls in the USA villa. And then they showed this clip of him talking to Cher and how he wanted to share a bed with her or whatever, and he said we can work this out, but um he was already sharing a bed with, I think, Imani is her name, I think. And he said, well, we can work it out, or I can work it out, basically get her out of his bed and have a share in there, which he did. And that's what caused an argument with him and Imani, because I don't think the way he did it was not, it wasn't a nice way to do it. So Imani was like, she was mad, but she's like, I'm not mad. It's over with, but let's just shut it down, because Jack was kind of feeling himself because he had all those girls, and she was like, quit trying to impress the boys. Just stop. Just shut it down. And Jack did. Next movie was the Sean Identity, and it showed Belle exactly what happened when at the villa, the other villa. So this is Sean and talking to Lucinda, and how they got back together while Belle was over at the other villa. And he was saying how maybe what happened, what if she's over there getting to know someone else, and then he's bringing up them getting back together. So Belle is seething, and she's like, "Oh, that's it. You're insecure, and you thought I was getting on with someone else, and so you jumped ship because you're insecure," which is, that's what happened. And Lucinda's just, everything's funny to her and everything. She just can't wait to see. I don't know. She's watching what they're talking about. And I don't know. She just. So the same argument comes up, and she's telling him he was insecure. He's trying to explain. I mean, that's exactly what it was. He was insecure and he jumped ship because he thought she was going to be into someone else. This was funny because when Belle was going in on Sean, um, Kieran was like, oh my gosh, she stood up. It was funny. Belle tells Lucinda that she genuinely feels like she deserves better. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know what Lucinda deserves, because I don't even know if Lucinda knows where she is. She's just so, I, I just feel like emotionally she's very immature. I don't know. It's something about her. But anyway, um, She looks like she's thinking about what she said about her. She should be worried if Sean could switch that fast, he would jump ship on her. Come back for part two. This is long.